We are live in Las Vegas, where it's a full house for the team roping. The dynamic duos dynasty alive and well, rich in speed in the driver's seat. But first up, Kevin Stewart and Martin Lucero, a couple of Texas ropers. Stewart won the average in '93, and Martin Lucero, the Rookie of the Year, back in '91.
Well, these guys have had a fairly quiet week. They're 5th in the average right now, but they'd like to win around and stay in that average. And right there is the best run they've made so far. Oh, and they break the barrier, and it's luck like that. It's like if there was no bad luck, they wouldn't have any luck at all. Oh, that's too bad.
Time to check the tail of the tape in the team roping. Let's check out the updated world standings. Speed Williams and his partner Rich Skelton. Rich and Speed on top by $4,000. But the real key, Butch, is that they lead in the average.
You know, and the average plays such a big role in this, because to win it, well, it's $34,678. That's a nice little chunk of change to pick up.
Pogenbach has won that average last year. Struggled this year, of course. Charles Pogue lost his best horse, Scooter, and he's really struggled to find a replacement.
Good run, and they will move to the lead in the round now. Oh, they got him for a crossfire. Now let me explain the crossfire.
Right now, the time to beat 14-6. Jory Levy and Blaine Lineweaver, quite capable of doing that. They hold the world record at 3-5.
These guys are setting very solid in the average. Number 3, they're 10.2 seconds behind Speed and Rich. Watch the heeler's side too. Now his job is to jump out and kind of haze that steer and be in position to be quick on the corner. Right now though, 14.6 seconds, the lead in the round, and that will hold them very solid in that average. 5.3 seconds, number 1 in the round now. That's good to see. Boy, good heel loop right there. He just tracks up, 2 jumps. So they are going to win a chunk. If they stay 3rd, that's $22,000. But there's a lot of guys left to rope, especially the number 1 and 2 teams in that average. So
Lineweaver and Levy, tough to beat here in this 10th round. Now it's the turn of Tyler Magnus and Turtle Powell, another couple of Texas ropers.
Boy, Turtle's got him roped quick. Good heel loop. 1 hind foot, though. They'll pick up 1 5-second penalty for that. 4-3 goes to 9-3, and a crossfire.
What's this crossfire stuff? I think if you're, good enough cowboy to kill them steers, I don't care what if the header's even got the rope on yet. If you're good enough to do it, I say give you the money. What do you mean, here he goes?
We're just in the team roping.
Where it's Key and Kelly, David Key, Dugan Kelly, 2nd in the average right now. Haven't won much money during the rounds, but they hang in there in the average. They'll go home with a big check.
Well, we just watched Lineweaver and Jory Levy, who were 3rd. They were 10.2 seconds behind Speed and Rich, but they were only 1 second behind this team. So they can make a move here, and these guys are going to track up and make sure they get a clean run. 7.1, they will probably drop 1 hole in that average, but they are going to stay solid, and that's what counts.
Once again, the leaders, Lineweaver and Levy, 5-3. Here in the 10th go-round of the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo here in Las Vegas. Steve Priscilla out of Hereford, Texas. The '96 champion, Corey Kuntz from Sudan, Texas. The average champion in 1997. They were quick last night at 4-4, Butch.
It's fun to watch Corey on that heel, and he can be as quick as anybody in this building. Always rides a great heel horse, comes around the corner, and that's the way you want to do it. Keep this video. That was a nice run. 5.5 seconds. Number 2 in the round now.
0.2 of a second out behind the leaders.
Boy, that's as quick as you can let her go right there. That was a nice run. Corey just cleaned it up good.
That's respectable.
Well, Clay O'Brien Cooper won 7 titles with Jake Barnes. Got burned out a little bit. Then he teamed up with his neighbor, Matt Tyler. And here they are at the finals, 7th in the average right now.
Well, there's only 6 teams that have had times on all their steers. So these guys had 1 no time, but they've still worked back to 7th. They've won $28,000 already. Matt Tyler trying to get that horse set. Tough round, 5.3.
The team has rode 8 out of 9. coming in. They are 7th in the average. That does budget in.
Little trouble. Boy, you know, these horses, every night they come in here, they get to anticipating getting out of that box and doing it quick, and it's tough. Tough to keep them just calm in that box.
Take care of itself.
Matt Tyler, though, he's been known for riding some of the best heading horses in the business.
On the heeling side.
Little trouble now. That steer kind of faded a little bit to the right, and I think that caused him to miss that head loop.
Now you will rope 7th in the average. So that's worth
Now Clay O'Brien Cooper's going to come around the corner and hopefully finish this thing up, and he does. But some problems put him in there at 19.7 seconds.
So the L boys with an L of a run. Lineweaver and Levy on top. Clay O'Brien Cooper, though, the 7-time titleist with a good run himself. Team roping going on, and right now the 5 and 3, the time to beat for Alan Bach and Daniel Green, who are roping together for the 4th time here at the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo.
You know, they have an awfully good steer. They were 4-9, 4-6, and 5 flat on this steer, so they know they have a chance. But Daniel Green, he reached and just did not get it done. They come in 14th in the average. I don't look for them to even use their 3rd loop.
I don't want you to worry about it. No.
So no time for these guys. They've had a good week, $28,000.
But he is
Take a look at the miss. They knew they had a steer that they could probably win the round on if they could have made him wear it right here. You don't see Daniel Green miss steers like that very often.
Well, Alan Bach can go home and heal up now. There's your leaders. Levy and Lineweaver, 5 and 3. Kuntz and Priscilla not far behind. This is Tryon and Twisselman. Clay Tryon from Billings, Montana. Caleb Twisselman from Santa Margarita, California. 5th last night at a 4 and 7. They're 4th in the world.
Boy, these boys can be fast. These Tryon boys, it's been fun watching them at this year's NFR. He and his brother are both here. Now something got caught up there when he left the box. They're going to make a qualified run. 6.9 seconds. That'll put them 3rd in the round. 6.9 seconds.
Some great young ropers coming down the road, and we've seen them here in Las Vegas.
You know, the Tryon brothers, between the two of them, they've won nearly $90,000 this week at the NFR, so they've had a pretty enjoyable NFR.
Yeah, the folks won't have to pay as much for college, huh?
No, college is looking like it's paid for and then some.
Speaking of winners, Wheatley and Lockett won the 7th round the other night out of California. Wade Wheatley and Kyle Lockett.
They come in 11th in the average, but they have won $37,731.30 to be exact. Wheatley, Californian, and this boy can get one spun in a hurry. Now that steer, you could see that things weren't square. He was in the swing, it was hard. If he'd have tracked up a jump, he could have probably roped him clean, but they were trying to win the round. They broke the barrier. No, they picked up a 5-second penalty, 9.7 seconds.
There is the man, Cody Yole, back in the arena here, and it's great to see him, even though he's on those crutches. He'll have to undergo surgery on that torn ACL and MCL, but it is so good to see him up and about.
Here's another
He gave the fans here in the Thomas and Mack Center something to remember. They'll never forget it, the effort he gave last night in the 9th round of the calf roping. Well, these two cowboys hit a patch of ice going down the road this fall, slid off the road, their truck and their trailer. They're okay, and they've had great traction this week here at the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo.
They come in 4th in the average. Makes it work. Bonnie Joe cleans it up, and that was a nice run. 4.8 seconds. That moves them to #1 in the round. They've already won $23,000. So if they win this round, they'll have enough to each go buy a new truck. Boy, good run, and they moved to #3 in the average. That'll put them another $22,000. That was a pretty good run to make some change on if you combine all that together.
You were talking about the Tryon boys. Here's Travis Tryon along with Matt Robertson, 19 and 20 years old, but they have not been phased at all by being here in Las Vegas for the national finals. They're 3rd in the world. They've won $56,000 in, what, 3 rounds they've won, Butch?
These boys are incredible. They've just been jumping out and spinning it. Oh, and that steer stopped right there. They're 10th in the average. They're going to rebuild. just kind of wait and see what happens. But they were trying to win this round. Maybe jumped out a little early and caused that steer to stop. Whatever the case, no time for these boys, but what a great week they've had. You got to tip your hat to them.
You get a steer like that, it's got to be tough to regroup.
Well, they were just trying to be fast. You see that steer, though? He came out, nothing really caused it. That steer just stopped. That's all, the only way to explain it. No time, that's the worst part. The way to explain it, that hurts.
And that's what they mean when they talk about the luck of the draw here in Las Vegas. There's a good look at the leaderboard. Graves and Petsko on top at 4 and 8. These guys were the leaders when they got to Las Vegas. Richard Aguirre and B.J. Campbell. They were #1 in the world, and they are chasing Speed Williams and Rich Skelton, who are yet to come.
Well, they come in 6th in the average. They want to win this round. That's all they can do, and then just kind of wait and see what happens. And Richard headed out of there and could not get his dallies and loses these ropes, so they go out of this round with a no time.
Kind of par for the course for those two. Yeah, I had a great year. Then they got to Las Vegas and things didn't work out the way they'd planned.
Boy, he was going left. They were going to try to be quick. BJ was just hoping that steer would head out of there, but no time.
Well, it's down now to Rich and Speed. Rich and Speed Williams gunning for their 5th straight title. They built a practice arena with the same dimensions as the Thomas and Mack. Let's see if it pays off.
Oh, I'll bet it pays off. They're #1 in the average, and look at Rich Skelton's going to track up there and make sure they win the average, and they will win the world for the 5th time. Congratulations to a great team. That's the only way to explain that.
Doesn't happen by accident. They practice roping 100 steers a day, and it pays off once again in Las Vegas. You don't get rich without speed, and they do it again. 5 consecutive world titles